overall. So are you surprised to see the Titans opt to kick it here, or do you like the decision?
Well, I think it is a little windy, JT, so you always worry about that. But I'm going to put on my Moose Bingham hat since that's all we ever do at Rewind anytime we talk about special teams.
Yes, it is.
It's a good angle for a high school kicker. These are wide hash marks. You should have plenty of opportunity to push this one through. I think you take the points.
The Titans junior nearly blocked. It's up, and it's good. Olympus out in front, 3-0 with 7:40 to go in the first quarter. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind.
Blues fans, get ready to show your school spirit and support our football. Down to the snack bar and pick up your white t-shirt today.
Welcome back inside to Olympus High School, where the Titans march down the field. They don't come away with a touchdown, but they were scoreless in the first quarter last week, so already on the board early, Brian.
Well, I think the big story from that drive, JT, was the conversions on third down for this Olympus offense. The big part of the game, especially at the high school level, I think it's where most offenses struggle. And you saw Provo throw a variety of defensive looks at Olympus. They were able to move the ball, make some conversions, get the ball in the hands of Nick Brown, Luke Bryan early on. Now it's going to be up to this Provo offense to try and counter the early success, swing a little momentum in their favor.
Gubler, after knocking in that 35-yard field goal, now on to boom it away on the kickoff. Wynn pulls this one back. Actually, will still reach the end zone. What a leg by the junior.
Yeah, and it's not super easy to see on the broadcast, but there is a bit of a wind gust coming up, especially up high. So while you may not feel it as much on the field or see it as much, for him to get that touchback in face of a decent I'm going to put on my meteorologist hat, say 15, 20 mile per hour wind, maybe. That's a little strong. I don't know. Get my dog out here. You could probably predict it better.
Yeah. Starting for Provo at quarterback is going to be Sokai Aston. The junior had a strong week ago. They'll start on the ground here. This Provo team loves to rush the ball. They had a bevy of backs last week. I believe over 5 players got a carry for them, Brian.
Yeah, and they had just a massive game last week. Really marched all over the field against a Grantsville team that is no slouch.
Yeah.
Right? Smaller program. But
beat Provo last year, to your point.
Yeah, one of the more competitive teams. But this is a young Provo team, right? A lot of juniors playing, a lot of juniors trying to establish, their futures going forward. And high school support, so much about it is about recruiting, right, and getting recruited. So we'll see how they do. Defensively, Olympus, pretty stout up front.
They fake it to Hefo on the play-action pass, get it to the outside. Larson makes the grab, but quickly dragged out of bounds. Nice coverage that time by the Titans. And Titans have one of the state's elite defensive or best defensive back performances from week 1. James Schlendorf had 2 interceptions last week to help the Titans really check the Spanish Fork offense.
Yeah, and they really do have one of the more talented secondaries, probably in 5A, if not the state. You talked about Hugh Matsumori early on. Evans is a big player for them. They will miss.
3rd and 5, and it's picked off. Another grab by the Titans, and right on cue, James Schlendorf goes to work with the interception.
Well, I better finish that one, JT. There will miss no opportunity to get the turnover as James Schlendorf continues his assault on the interception lead for the state. What a great job staying in your zone, elevating, going and get the ball. Perfect turnover for this Olympus High defense. They're going to get another shot to get that ball in the end zone.
Nice blitz by the Titans that time. You could see Aston felt sped up there, throws it high, and Schlendorf, I talked with Coach Burt earlier this week. He said Schlendorf always seems to be in the right place at the right time. It's the definition of that interception right there. Titans start on the 23 now with Mosley alone in the backfield. Low snap. Mosley gets it away to Bryant quickly. Bryant able to turn nothing into about a 5-yard gain maybe.
And you see Mosley does a good job digging the snap up, getting the ball out to the playmaker, and you can see why Luke Bryan is so highly thought of, both by the next level programs. I believe he holds an offer from Utah, BYU, all the in-state schools. You can see why. Just tremendous athlete, able to turn nothing into something there. And if you can get 5 yards every play, JT, that's going to lead to a lot of happy days.
Yes, it will. Just over 6 minutes to go here. Mosley gives it on the ground to Brown. And Brown's got a first down. Olympus's offense clicking right now.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job there on the inside zone, creating those wide gaps. Provo trying to two-gap the situation with a 3-down line front, and it's just very difficult for the Bulldogs right now with the way that Olympus is able to open those creases, and Nick Brown leaving no crease unexplored.
There you go.
Took me a second there.
1st and 10 from the 12. Mosley gives it to Brown on the delay, and the Bulldogs all over it. Nice physical tackle that time by Siosifa Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz does a nice job of slipping off the power block there, able to gum up the original hole, and Brown tries to cut back against the defense, and there were no explorations available on that play. And that'll put Olympus in the 2nd and long here. They've had a lot of success going through the air. Talked about it. They probably want to establish the run game early on. You have to wonder if maybe they'll try and take a shot to the outside.
Done a better job establishing it today overall, but the negative run there puts them behind the sticks. They fake it, and a tight window throw from Mosley. Wow. And the concentration on the catch there, exceptional from Tommy Nelson.
I don't know if you can hear it on the broadcast, but a lot of whoosh coming on that throw as Mosley squeezes it into a tight window. But you can see the confidence they have in him, right? 2-year starter. He is a kid that has worked extremely hard, overcome injuries, and really fought to position himself to have a great year this year. And this offense is really going to rest on his shoulders for a lot of the season.
Timeout, Olympus. Titans looking to talk it over with 4:55 to go in the first quarter. We'll take a break. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind.
U Conference football registration is open for the 2023 fall tackle football season. This year, we are proud to announce the addition of a girls-only division to play alongside our boys. Team scheduling lines you up against comparable competition, making every snap a valuable life lesson. UC football is safe and fun. Learn the game with confidence. The competition will be fierce and the camaraderie will be second to none. Sign up today at ucfootball.org. That's ucfootball.org.
Welcome back into Olympus High. Newly renovated field. Very nice out here. It's 3rd and 7. Titans so far 2 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. We'll see what this one brings for them here. They've done a couple surprise runs. Really good job early on by offensive coordinator Mike Smith. Mixing it up, Brian.
Yeah, and that was part of the changeover suddenly here at Olympus, and the head coach. A new offensive system a little bit has allowed
Mosley got it out quickly, but the pass not able to be held onto.
Yeah, Ty Siegel there with a drop. Siegel had a good position there, getting some hand fighting going on from the Provo defender there, just not able to secure it. Sometimes those situations, you're trying to get upfield and get to the sticks and get that first down. We saw it last night in the Brighton Syracuse game. Sometimes you're trying to turn upfield, you got to secure that ball first. But it'll give Olympus another chance at a field goal, and these are found points. JT, points off of turnovers, always just take those as best you can.
Wow, Provo forced to burn a timeout. We just took one, so we'll keep it here for a second. Continue with your point, Brian.
Yeah, no, I think there's always this. I think it's hard because when you watch NFL and college level games, you see teams take chances in these situations, right? And high school football is a little bit different. You don't always want to take those early gambles, especially at this point in the game where so far it's been all Olympus. I don't know that you want to give away that much momentum that early on in this game.
Especially when your junior kicker's feeling confident, having already knocked one in as well. 4:50 to go here. Only seen Provo's offense once. Not just the turnover, but overall, Olympus's first drive just took up a ton of time. Now the Titans looking to finish their second drive off. Unfortunately, they'll have stalled for the second time in the red zone, but still an opportunity to take a 6-0 advantage here on the upcoming field goal. 26 yards, the attempt. Nearly blocked again, but the result the same as the previous kick. Asher Gubler makes the kick 6-0. Olympus rolling early.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Titans offense looks terrific. 6-0, the early advantage. I'm sure they would have liked to finish those drives, Brian, but either way, you're still up 6-0.
Yeah, and I think that's a big story for this Olympus football team. Yeah, last week got off to a little bit of a slow start, a little bit of a better start this week here in the first quarter as it's 2 early scores. Now, granted, you want to convert, especially where you're down in the red zone, but to get a turnover early on this Provo offense that was so potent and successful last week, positive sign for Olympus. If you're Provo, time to forget about that first drive.
This ball will be returnable. Going up the right side before being ankle tackled. That time for Provo was Kyle Larson. You know, if you're Provo as well, Brian, all you have to do is score 1 touchdown, make the PAT, and even though you turned it over on your first drive, you'd exit the first quarter with a lead.
Yeah, that's the good news for Provo. The bad news is they haven't been able to get past the 40-yard line yet. Only 1 drive so far. You know, I think you saw some early nerves from the quarterback there in that one. So you just want to get Aston settled down a little bit and get him in rhythm, whether it's through the run game or the pass game. Maybe throw some side outs here.
Aston pitches it to the outside. And a strong tackle made in space for the Titans. All over it there was Rex Wagstaff. Check that, Nate Sheets, actually.
Yeah, and you're going to see this Olympus defense is well coached. Play assignment sound, able to close on the option there. And Provo is going to have to execute. They've got some big guys up front, JT. Should be able to get some movement in the run game here. We'll see what they do on 2nd down long.
Tongai Lesa in the backfield again. Aston, looking, lofts one downfield and nearly intercepted, but I'm not sure he got the feet down. In fact, he did not.
And not able to stay in bounds on that one was Jack Evans, but still, again, throwing into double coverage there. Bit of a risky pass. You see what they want to do with Aston is get him going downfield, but well scouted, well defended on that play by the Olympus defense.
3rd and 9. Aston still looking for his first completion of more than 5 yards. He's given a pocket for a moment, but it quickly evaporates, and he just dunked that into the dirt, and that will be intentional grounding.
Yeah, great job on the pressure there from Olympus. Coach Chambers, you have to think right now, is going to have a chat with his offensive line, former offensive lineman himself. There's a lot of free release on that one. It's going to be intentional grounding on Aston. That's a big penalty. Again, it's from the spot, loss of down, so it's going to be 4th and 20-ish. I mean, it's 4th and Provo here.
Yeah. Mauga, great job getting back on the pressure as the junior forces the intentional grounding. Sure, he would have loved the sack, but honestly, for Olympus as a team, this works even better for them as it puts the Provo punter all the way deep back in his own end zone.
And you want to talk about opportunities to take a gamble, JT. I think this is one where you could afford to really rush the punt, see if you can't get something going.
They'll try to do that, but able to get it away. Bryant back. He gets it at about the 45. Bryant and a lot of Bulldogs in front of him. He's going to try to retreat. He's got nowhere to go. It'll be a loss of about, actually kind of the same game from where he basically caught it because of where he retreated from.
Yeah, and a great job by that Bulldog special teams. They're special for a reason, JT. You see what they were able to do with covering that punt, getting the loss. And this Provo defense will come out for the 3rd time already in the first quarter It feels like this game has been moving along pretty well. Just not a lot of big scores, big plays, JT. It's been very methodical early.
Chase Mosley making his way back out. I know you spent a little bit of time with the Olympus program this summer. What do you think of Mosley?
I think Chase Mosley is one of the more underrated, if not the most underrated quarterbacks in the state, and I say that with bias. I've known Chase for a long time, but it's the leadership. It's the motivational stuff. It's his week-to-week work, knowing the offense, knowing what everybody's supposed to do, that really makes him unique and special. Doesn't have necessarily the athleticism that some of the greats like Isaac Wilson have, but this is a young man that's been used to winning. This is a age group that won, I believe, every single year in Little League. You see him use some of that sneaky athleticism. Drink up your Diet Cokes, folks at home.
Great job by Mosley there, recognizing what was going on and using the wheels to gain 9 on the play. We've seen that a couple times now. Pressure's broken through from the Bulldogs, but talking about Mosley, he's no Wilson, but done a good job staying on his feet here early.
Yeah, he is. And listen, Provo wants to put the pressure on you. They've got some real dogs back there in the defensive backfield. Forgive me for the dad joke, pun, whatever you want to call it. But that's a running joke on the broadcast between you and I, But there are some dogs on this defense, and they're going to try to get to Mosley early and try and rattle him. And so that's going to be the battle, right? Can you get him out of his comfort zone? So far early, Chase is shown to be in control.
Play clock was 0, so it'll be a delay game penalty on the Titans. I will say, Brian, they've been really good about overcoming those negative plays. Very first drive, we're backed up, and it didn't matter. Still able to move the chains and get a first down, and they'll still have 2 downs to do it, even though they were just hit with that delay of game.
Yeah, and it's a curious call. So listen, I'm not always watching everything that's going on, so I'm not sure if it was just the signal was late coming in on that one. I probably shouldn't have made that on the broadcast. I'm not watching everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on, Brian.
But, again, a 40-second play clock, down to 23, 22 now. They should have plenty of time to get this one off. See if it becomes a consistent issue.
Yeah, Provo's showing a lot of rush, but they bail out of it. Just a 4-man rush. Mosley able to escape. He's got pressure all over him. Mosley just running for his life and able to somehow get it over to Brown. And Brown taken down. What a wild play, and Diaz able to drag him for a stop. It'll be a loss of 2 yards.
It might be the longest 2-yard loss in the history of football. As you saw, JT Mosley scrambles to the wide side of the field, avoids the defensive rush. Early breakdown from that offensive line. Just, again, this Provo defense is aggressive. They want to get after you. They want to rush the passer. They want to disrupt that. Good job by Olympus to at least get something out of it.
Titans are 2 of 4 on 3rd down. They face 3rd and 8 right here from the 43. And they'll go to Brown. Brown straight ahead. Gain of about, say 7, and it'll still be short, 3 yards.
Yeah, and I think that was a play call in preparation for a go for it on 4th down. And listen, Olympus has played phenomenally on defense so far. Why not go for it in this situation? Give yourself a 4th and short where you have not good opportunity to convert. And they've done well in critical situations so far offensively.
Need to convert it here, or else they'd give Provo their best starting field position yet. 4th and 3 from the 38.
You see Diaz coming to the short side of the field.
And a false start. We'll see if that changes the Titans' mind. It looks like it might, as the punt unit looks to be stepping forward, although they're sent back after a moment. So we'll see what Olympus opts to do. Offense at the moment, though, is going to stay on the field. 4th and 8 coming up if they don't change personnel, and it doesn't look like they're going to, Brian.
No, it doesn't, and they must I think they're comfortable in whatever the play call is. They're going to roll with it here. It'll be interesting. You saw, again, Diaz swap to the narrow side of the field. As you see a good flop here. Look for maybe the quick kick from Olympus.
Yeah. I think you're absolutely right, and that's what it will be. No one back for the Bulldogs. This could be a great kick. If anyone can get there, oh my goodness! What an unreal kick from Mosley. Is there anything he can't do? It turns back on the 1. Fantastic punt from the quarterback.
If you don't need him on your flag football team, maybe you want him on your scramble team. That's a heck of a lob wedge by Chase Mosley there. He really has been Mr. Everything early on for this Olympus offense. But, JT, I think the big story from that one is that they've pinned this Provo offense deep in their own territory, and this defense should have their ears pinned back and ready to get after the Bulldogs with an opportunity to either get a turnover or even maybe some points off a turnover here.
Hashtag rewind top 5 on a quarterback punt right there for you. I know Moose would say it if he was here, so I got to do it as well because that was unreal.
I believe it was Colby Froker last week.
Yes.
Backup quarterback that was dropping them deep.
Aston is throwing it over the middle of the field, just overshoots his intended target. Aston really trying to settle in here, Brian, still it feels like.
It is, and I think we saw that last week a little bit with Dylan's story, where he first time starting in the regular season as a senior, took him a quarter or two to really settle in. I think that's the difference you see with Chase Mosley, for example, right? Returning starter, done this before, know what to expect. And Aston had Kyle Larson open over the middle, just not able to complete the pass.
Hifo and Lessa both in the backfield. And they'll pitch it at the last second. Oh, that ball is loose. Titans on top of it. They got it for the touchdown.
Set it right before JT. You got them backed up against their own end zone. This is an offense that likes to use that option play. And, your heart breaks for the Bulldogs. Those option plays can be so dangerous. Just 1 inch off, and it's disaster for Provo. And it's a party in the end zone for the Olympus Titans as they take a 12-0 lead here in the first quarter, pending that PAT.
I believe it was I think Weston Olson might have been the one who got on top of it. Led this Titans team in tackle last week. One of the best inside linebackers in the state overall.
100%.
Done a great job all season long. The PAT is up. Once again, nearly blocked, it feels like, but still good. 13-0. Olympus rolling at their home field. Titans have already forced 2 Provo turnovers here early. 13-0. Olympus leads it, Brian. And, if you're Provo, 1:43 to go in the first quarter, what are you looking to see them try to accomplish on this drive?
The biggest thing for them is trying to establish some kind of rhythm on offense. We've seen them try to get something going in the ground game, especially using that speed option look. Olympus hasn't defended well. They've tried to go over the top. Olympus has defended that well. So you've got to find something that works. I think really the big thing for me would be getting Aston going in the run game in terms of being QB run. So maybe some draw action, QB read, something along that lines, maybe a little QB counter GT. Just going to throw out words and letters together and see if people recognize that I do or don't know what I'm talking about.
Hey, I want to go back to that false start. That actually kind of ended up being a good thing for the Titans on the one, and then you get the incredible punt, and wow. I mean, Mosley's made some unreal throws, but that punt might be the best play he's made of the game, and that's not a slight. It's one of the best punts I've ever seen from a quarterback.
That's the real storyline coming out of this one, right? Chase Mosley has made a lot of it happen tonight for Olympus. He and Luke Bryant, really, and Nick Brown as well. We'll give Nick Brown some love. Again, we talk about this Olympus team is the epitome of the underdog, the underrated, right? Not as widely talked about across the state as maybe a Corner Canyon or a lot of the Utah County schools. We talk about Region 3 all the time. Region 5, another good one. Region 6, tough region as well.
Very tough region.
Just not as dominant maybe in terms of the state landscape, but.
Region 6, Alta, Highland, Brighton, East, West, Skyline. At least 3 of those teams I just mentioned are contenders for the state championship, and potentially even more. We did have a penalty on Provo that will allow Olympus to kick it from even shorter now, so 15-yard extra little boost for the Titans as the Bulldogs trying to get themselves right offensively. They could use a big kick. That Titans defense is going to be fired up to get back out there, having just scored a touchdown.
Yeah, and this is one of those situations where you'd almost look for maybe some sort of squib kick or something like that if you're Olympus. Again, kicking from your own 45, that's a big penalty for Provo, and they just continue to find ways to make it more difficult for themselves.
An easy touchback for Gubler. So Provo makes their way out. This is an offense last week for the Bulldogs. They scored 14 points in the first quarter, and right now just looking for any positivity, yet to move the chains. 2 turnovers early, and they'll try to get anything going, even run game, pass game. Like you said, quarterback run game potentially as well, Brian. A lot on the table if you're the Bulldogs, but just got to get trending in the right direction here. Yeah,
I think you really want to lean heavily on Aston and Lessa in the run game. Less of the speed option, JT, more of some up and down stuff if you can. And we've seen this Provo offensive line get outrushed a lot tonight already by this Olympus defense.
Aston gives it And breaking free for the Bulldogs and moving the chains for the first time today was Lesa.
And you see Fitagai Lesa there, able to cut up on just a simple inside zone handoff. And listen, Olympus has been great at defending the outside of the speed option all game long. See what happens when you get them thinking outside and come up the middle. It's a big game for Provo, and they finally have something going. I say finally. We're still in the first quarter.
Yeah. Just a lot has already happened early. Coach Burt of the Titans also still the defensive coordinator after becoming the active head coach as well. It's been a whirlwind of a couple weeks for him, but his team off to a 1-0 start and a great one here tonight as well. Lesa gets it, but dropped for a loss.
Yeah, see the one player not fooled on the fake on that was Gabe Johnson. Does a great job staying home. Johnson, another one of those undersized, just very feisty, aggressive defensive players. Had a great game last week against Spanish Fork. Provo trying to be deceptive a little bit here with the fakes. You saw the end around shaping up, maybe trying to peer into the future a little bit, see if they can get something going out of that one.
We're under a minute to go in the first quarter. Lesa up the gut, lowers the shoulder, buries not one but two Titans as he gets a big gainer on the ground.
Boy, you can see Lesa, when he gets going downfield, he gets going down in a hurry, and that is a load to try and tackle. Again, Provo with the orbital motion, this time coming to the wide side of the field, but it looks like they found something to go after there on the right side of that offensive line, and Lesa is capitalizing on every carry over there.
The Bulldogs will have to run at least one more play. Got their most offensive momentum of the day, and it comes courtesy of two big runs from Lesa. They'll fake it to him this time. Got a man open in the flat, and it'll be another first down. That time with the catch and run was Paulson.
Yeah, great job by Paulson to catch the ball from Aston as he was under duress by Gabe Johnson again. Paulson able to reel that one in, move the sticks, and Provo crosses the 50-yard line right as the clock will expire here in the first quarter for the first time.
Yeah, Bulldogs content to let it wind out. Kurt Chambers and his Provo offense finally with some momentum. Stay with us. Olympus up 13-0 after one. Second quarter action set to get underway. Provo driving off a couple big runs from Lesa and the first big throw of the day for Aston. Feels like the run game has really gotten this Provo offense going, Brian.
It has, and we talked about it, right? They needed to find something to establish some rhythm, and really what it's been Fitagai Lesa on the handoff here.
I'll go back to Lesa right away. And he stood up. Great job by the Titans defensive line. Gave up 3 first downs in their last 5 plays. You can see Olympus ready to respond with the first play of the second quarter there.
Yeah, and even with Olympus making those adjustments, it is, still a positive gain there for Provo. As you say, what Leggett can do on the ground. And Provo starting to settle in a little bit more. You see both of these teams go with the muddle or the no-huddle style offense, getting the signal in from the sidelines.
2nd and 9 from the 41. Once again, Lesa on the ground. He's a big back, and he keeps the legs churning for a gain of 4.
He is a big back, and then you can see why he was able to put up such big numbers last week, as it was
feels like Max Borlick and the Bulldogs offensive line is also starting to have a lot more success too, Brian.
Yeah, and they've settled in, and I think part of it is, they've done a much better job of getting a hat on a hat, as we like to say. As you see, Mauga able to make the tackle on Lesa there, but the more you can minimize those speedy defensive ends in Mauga and Johnson, the better you're going to be if you're Provo.
Aston keeps it and gets the first.
And really where they're having success now is attacking up the middle, right? And you see Gabe Johnson there so quick to try and pick up the pitch man, that's his designation. And you see that Aston able to pull and go up the middle there. And again, Provo starting to, I shouldn't say starting, continuing to have really great success running the ball up the middle.
4 first downs on this drive, 3 of them on the ground. The first 2 courtesy of Lesa, and now that one Aston, which you talked about before this drive, the quarterback using his legs more, and he's able to do that there. 1st and 10 from the 29. They'll go. Oh, Aston keeps it, pitches it on the shovel pass straight forward, but somehow still keeping the legs churning and fighting for every bit of extra yardage. That time was Bennett Paulson.
Bennett Paulson turning into Mr. Everything for this Provo offense. He caught the pass earlier to make the conversion, right? Catches the shovel there. A bit of a mess in the middle, but he's still able to catch and convert the reception, I guess.
Yeah. always makes you nervous right there whenever you're going to attempt a shovel pass, right? It does get so clogged up in the middle, but ended up working for about 4 right there. 2nd and 6 from the 25. Aston rolls out to his left, looking downfield, fading, throwing, and connecting. Deep downfield, making the grab is Kyle Larson.
Yeah, Larson, we saw earlier, did a good job of finding the hole in the defense. Does it again there. Aston able to connect with him. Boy, that play's so good it has me tongue twisted over here, JT, as Provo is in threatening territory inside the 10.
There was not much room for error at all on that throw, and Aston able to make it his best delivery of the day. And, we haven't heard Drew Desher's name called yet at all. And when you talk about Desher, you talk about a guy who had 938 yards last year and 7 touchdowns, 58 catches to go along with it. So expect to hear from him shortly here. Aston, 1st and 5. The throw, and it's a catch, and it's a score right on cue. Desher in for the score for the Bulldogs.
Well, you save your best for when you need it the most, JT. You can see Drew Desher daring that Olympus defense to defend him. Not up to the challenge. And Drew sneaks it in there for the touchdown.
2nd touchdown on the season for Desher after he had 38 yards last week, 83 yards overall and 1 score on 4 catches. Bubble screen works to perfection there, and now Provo looking to make it a 6-point game, and they'll do so with the kick. 7-13 with 9:21 to go in the first half on KSL Sports Rewind. Provo on the board. It was a big drive from Lisa, and then it ended up with the Desher touchdown. Now they boot it to the Titans. Bryant giving chase, and it ends up being a touchback. Olympus has had a lot of offensive success early, but because they weren't able to turn those 2 early drives into touchdowns, it's still just a 1-score game despite the 2 Provo turnovers, Brian.
Yeah, and you mentioned, JT, Olympus has controlled this game for the most part, just not able to convert once they get close to that end zone. Other than the fumble recovery there on defense, this drive, I think they really want to try and get a touchdown for that offense. We'll look to see what they do. And they've had success early on in the ground game with Nick Brown, been able to get the ball to Luke Bryant. Maybe they try to take a shot here at some point.
1st and 10 from the 20. Mosley fakes it to Brown. Goes over to Bryant. Bryant, room to work with in space and a nasty stiff arm. He fought hard to gain just a yard.
Boy, you can see the Provo sideline excited, but Bryant was the one laying the hammer down. Throws the defender away with not really even a stiff arm, but just the get out the club move. Drives those legs, able to get 3 yards on that one. A really hard-fought 3 yards, to use the cliche.
2nd and 8 now. Mosley with Brown once again flanking him in the backfield. Mosley looks left to lofts a high flying throw, and Bryant able to make the grab and gain about 5 on it. That was risky, Brian.
It was, and that's a long throw across the wide side of the field. You see Mosley almost backpedaling on that one, but that is the benefit of having Luke Bryant, right? Sure hands, secures the ball, able to get positive yardage, and now Olympus, 3rd and short here, has a lot of options on the table as to what they can do.
Bryant just 2 yards last week on the ground. No, didn't catch a pass, but did score a touchdown. Good to see him back in the fold for the Titans offense, and between him and Brown has been featured prominently early. 3rd and 3. Brown on the ground, spins out of it, and is taken down. Exceptional pressure, that time breaking through by Hutch Filet.
We talked about it. This is an aggressive defense. Provo times it perfectly with the blitz. Able to get the tackle in the backfield. No options for Nick Brown on that one. And Olympus is going to be forced to kick this one away.
Farley, only a junior, as we talked about. Just the impressive year he had to go. You figured he'd be in for a big junior year, and it's already off to a really strong start on the season overall. And Mosley back to punt it once again. Waits for a long time, but eventually a great boot deep, and forced to make the fair catch there was Larson. 8:16 to go in the first half. Titans and Bulldogs doing battle on KSL Sports Rewind. Bulldogs offense looking to pick back up with some more offensive momentum, and they give it to Lesa, the one who really sparked that previous drive offensive success for them. Gains about 3 on the play.
And you're seeing Provo going back to the well, trying to find more and more gaps in that Olympus defense. These teams, the 5A teams, not quite as heavy up front in some situations, right? And these are teams that are built to defend a variety of offenses. We've seen high school offenses evolve so much more these days, especially with the element of the passing game. Sometimes it's some good old smash mouth, up the middle runs that can be most effective.
2nd and 7, they fake it to Lesa over the outside. Dusher gets it, shakes the defender out of his cleats, and a first down.
Well, a great job there by Dusher to read the block and get upfield. And you mentioned little shake and then big to get the first down. And Provo finding their footing finally. A little bit of a snarl from the Bulldogs.
2 most successful drives now for the Bulldogs have both involved Dusher and the run game, to the surprise of no one. Lesa with the first. It was 3rd and short, and that offensive line of the Bulldogs, like I said, foaming at the mouth to run it again and again.
Again, this is one of those things where you're starting to wear down that Olympus defense. Now, they haven't been on the field a ton early on. But, again, this is up the middle, smash mouth football. And this Provo offensive line, again, Coach Chambers, former offensive lineman himself, you know that he's going to have these guys hungry to get the ball moving on the ground.
1st and 10 from the 47, pressure breaking in. Aston going up top. Dusher, the concentration and the grab over the middle of the field for the big play.
What a great job by Aston to stand strong in the pocket as he absorbs the contact, finds his favorite target out there over the middle. That's a huge conversion for the Provo Bulldogs here as they're threatening. Do we call it the green zone?
Green
zone?
I
don't know.
Ozone's the student section, I believe.
Okay,
here.
my bad. Shout out to the Ozone, representing in the red, white, and blue tonight.
1st and 10 from the 18. Lesa bouncing off bodies, and another nice gain on first down.
We haven't had any shout-outs yet for the Pancake Platoon, but a nice job there by the center from Provo. I believe it was number 65. Doing a good job of seal blocking on that one, able to allow Lesa to pick up another yard or two. My man, Jackson Sharp. Good work.
2nd and 4 from the 12. Just under 6 minutes to go now. Aston fakes it, looking deep. Has a potential touchdown, but overshoots it, and strong coverage that time from the Titans. Really nowhere to go with that throw.
Yeah, and you can see, like you said, JT, on that one, just not a lot of room. Had a man open-ish, but he was under a lot of duress there and overthrows that one. Really where we've seen Aston be most effective is when he's out of the pocket, rolling around, trying to find something open downfield. Gets a little bit antsy back there.
3rd and 4th. Early on it was the Titans that had success on 3rd down. Now it's been the Bulldogs. 3rd and 4 from the 12. They motion Dusher across the field and give it to Lesa, and he's dragged down quickly. The Titans swarm him.
Now, Olympus knew what was coming on that one as they went with the counter. Great job by that Olympus defensive front to stop the offense on that one and have to make an amends. It was Max Borlick for Provo. Number 69 did a great job early on there with the seal block.
4th and 4, offense staying on the field. They weren't able to get the yards they were hoping for with Lesa. Aston now looking to move the chains with his arm. He looks left, pressure in his face, throwing it up. Duchere unable to get to the outside in time. And the Titans force the turnover on downs.
Boy, a tough look there for Aston. He's got nothing but Gabe Johnson bearing down on his face. Still able to get the ball out there. Duchere just not able to reel it in off the fingertips. I like the gamble from Provo, though. Plays with some aggression. He's not able to convert it. Now the onus is back on Olympus. Controlled the game so much in the first quarter. Haven't seen much from the offense in the second. And that last 3 and out was not a good look for this Olympus offense that had been so proficient up until that point.
No, it wasn't starting deep in their own territory. 1st and 10.
I should say not as good a look.
Fake it to Brown, the quick throw over, and the catch is made despite the booming hit. Good job holding on to the ball by Ty Siegel.
You see Siegel able to secure the ball. Had one bounce off the hands earlier, so you know it was on the mind. Make sure you take the ball, and to do it when you absorb that hit puts Olympus in great position now as 2nd and short.
Titans stay up-tempo, but going back to the Titans defense really quick, I've been really impressed with Gabe Johnson and Thomas Manga already, Brian. They've done a really good job as Mosley looks and fakes the short throw, buys time, and has a man open right in the middle of the field for a nice gain on 1st down. It's Nick Brown.
Nick Brown doing everything for the Titans. Again, you're hearing the same names over again, right? It's Mosley, Bryant, Brown, Deagle offensively, and they've really been the banner carriers for this Olympus offense. Offensive line settling in a little bit more here.
Mosley rolling out to his right. Has time looking. Brown wide open. And an easy 1st down for the Titans back. Olympus picking up the tempo here as well, Brian, 4:20 to go in this first half.
I'll tell you what, I'd love it if Nick Brown was a relative of mine because I've never had a 14-yard gain like that. Yeah. Takes a big hit, absorbs some contact, pops right back up. And you said it, JT, this Olympus offense is hungry and ready to go get more.
We'll go to Brown on the ground. Brown, gain of 3.
And you're seeing a lot of it just trying to get that push up the middle. Not a bad job there defensively by Joey Thomas to force him inside. Excuse me, I'm getting my rosters mixed up.
Most explosive pass plays of the day so far have been accomplished kind of by that Duchere and Aston connection we've seen. Mosley's done a good job moving the ball, but still looking for that big throw, and he had a couple of them last week. We know he's capable of it. 2nd and 8 with 3:30 to go. Give to Brown again. The surprise back-to-back runs by the Titans leads to a 1st down.
You said it, JT. I'm sure that Provo watched the film last week as well. The Titans were able to move the ball effectively through the air. Now trying to establish that run game. Nick Brown making his unofficial TV papa proud over here. The ground game is rolling. Woo!
3:05 to go. 1st and 10 from the 44 of the Bulldogs. Brown gets it again. Feed that man. He's got another nice gain on 1st down. Shouted as well to the left tackle that time with a big block, Logan Moikialoa.
Yeah, and you said it, JT, a big block from a big man. And Moikialoa, 6'1", 305, giving the shrug. Welcome to the platoon, big fella.
Welcome to the platoon indeed. First of all, what I expect to be many members tonight with how both these offensive lines operating at a pretty high level right now. Under 2:30 to go. Mosley rolling to the right. Defenders giving chase. And a grab by Siegel just past the sticks.
Yeah, and a great job by Siegel. We talked about it early in the broadcast, right? Sometimes you want to get upfield and get the gain, get that yak. Siegel does a good job of just securing the catch and securing the 1st down, prioritizing what matters most. And the big thing, that moves the chains, JT. And look.
And stops the clock.
Yeah, Olympus is threatening.
Still 3 timeouts for Olympus. Got to imagine the Titans would be okay killing a little more clock as well, not allowing the Bulldogs any time to score. Mosley gives it to Brown again, and Brown spins out of a tackle. Nick Brown with a huge gain of over 15 yards.
Well, it was Jacob Eardley with the angry runs. Tonight we've got the spinning top. Nick Brown, ballerina out there. Once, twice, 3 times a 1st down.
6 points, the Titans' advantage. Olympus slowing down a little bit here. 1st and 10 from the 20 with just under 2 minutes to play now. Mosley gets it out quickly. Siegel with a nice 5-yard gain.
Again, Ty doing a good job securing the catch, trying to get a few extra yards. Olympus has plenty of time here as they're under 2 minutes and just inside the 20-yard line. Man, this offense is starting to look sharp. And, JD, we've got a real dogfight cooking up for us today.
Yes, we do. Titans trying to
couple of Titans over here.
Exactly. Mosley gives to Brown. Brown straight ahead, unable to keep his legs up that time, but he's inside the 10.
Well, I know the song says don't mess with Leroy, but it's Nick Brown that you don't want to be messing with right now. He is a first down machine. He's got the Titans inside the 10-yard line here.
And Bulldogs going to burn a timeout, Brian. Looks like they feel like, first down inside the 10. Looks like it'll be 1st and 7 coming up here. And with how Aston's come to life, I like this decision by Provo to try to conserve some time for him.
I agree, JT. And look, Olympus has been content to really churn that clock on using the ground game really very effectively. And this defense has been out there a lot already tonight, right? So you want to try and conserve your defense, conserve some clock, and maybe get a score back. You mentioned it. Aston Ducher, great connection. And I think Aston's got plenty of arm talent to get a few completions down the field with a minute left. And, for so long in the game, it was that 2-minute offense that everybody loved to talk about. With the evolution of the rules and the way the game is played, you can almost get a score in a minute nowadays, these days. So, smart move by Coach Chambers. And again, Olympus has their 3 timeouts as well. They're going to try and use up as much clock as possible while punching this one in the end zone.
And just because it's 1st and inside the 7 doesn't guarantee a Titans touchdown. Remember, they've been inside the red zone twice already, had to settle for 2 field goals. Yeah. Mosley ready to operate from the middle of the field. Rolls to the right. Eyes downfield. Waits. Mosley going to run it in himself, diving for the Titans touchdown.
Chase Mosley, here's you, JT. He doesn't care. He's going to take it his own into the end zone. Like buttered popcorn, just popping in there for the score. Chase Mosley putting the Titans up 19-7 pending the PAT.
Mosley really heard me as well because I was just talking about that Provo defense not giving up a touchdown. And right away, 19-7, soon to be 20-7 here. But a minute 12 with, I believe, 2 timeouts, if I'm correct, Brian, for Olympus for Provo to work with. Gubler on to attempt the PAT here. And he puts it through. He's been strong all day long. What are you expecting out of Provo here with a minute 12, Brian?
Lots of air, JT. You're going to try and move the ball as quickly as possible. Minute 12 on the clock. That's plenty of time to get yourself in scoring position. Before we get too far down the road, huge shout-out to that Olympus offensive line. Not only did they get in the pancake platoon early, but they were methodical in moving defenders, allowing Nick Brown to average almost 8 yards a carry on that drive. That's really impressive work, JT. And they were able to finally convert in the red zone where they've struggled early on. And if you're Coach Burt, you love to see that evolution of your offense, right? Same as with Coach Chambers on the flip side of it with Provo. Early stumbles, saw the growth happen, saw your offensive line establish that rhythm, establish that dominance. And so now what you're looking for if you're Provo, maybe hope for a good return here, but more than anything, a couple quick passes to get downfield and get yourself in position to get a score.
Ducher and Larson, 2 of the top receivers on the Bulldogs, ready to receive the kickoff from Gubler. But he's had a big leg, already a couple touchbacks to his name here early, Brian.
Yeah, and kicking with the wind, if there is any, it looks like it's died off quite a bit, JT. So my either early meteorologist predictions, worse than the weather people.
Larson gets it inside the 5. Bulldog blockers in front of him, but Larson dragged down at the legs. Great special teams tackle that time by Nate Sheets.
Yeah, a great job by this Olympus kickoff coverage team to really close down any lanes, take on those blockers, and really tighten things up. And Provo was going to have their work cut out for them here as they got less than a minute.
I think we're going to work on sorting out the clock as well. As the clock was running a little bit early. So we'll get that sorted out.
By no means am I an expert.
One thing, while they work on the clock, Brian, I did want to talk about was, Kirk Chambers, the head coach of Provo High School, former NFL offensive lineman, played 9 years in the NFL. So he has his offensive line ready to go. And, it took him a little bit to settle in. It felt like there was some pressure breaking in on Ashton early, but now they've just done a great job.
They really have, and you can see what Chambers brings to this football team. He's a guy that comes, we got some interesting things going on over here. There we go. Getting the scoreboard set up. New field here at Olympus, and new scoreboard maybe getting the kinks worked out. But Chambers, a Utah kind of stalwart, came over to Provo from Spanish Fork, established a great culture there as well. Looking to do the same as they get an 8-yard gain early here on first down, and that's a great start to this drive.
Yeah, they'll take 4 seconds off the clock to get 8 yards right there. Great decision that time by Cia. I'm sure the junior maybe feels a little pressure, Brian, to look for something big, but I like the decision there to take the easy completion.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's exactly what his coaches are telling him. Hey, look for the open stuff. Look for the easy stuff. We've got plenty of time. We don't have to get it all right away here. So he throws that one in the dirt for an incompletion, but you can see what the goal is, right? Quick throws, try and move the ball, try and keep that clock stopped as much as possible. And now Provo in a bit of an uncomfortable position as they're 3rd and short here at the 33-yard line, excuse me.
Matsumori, great job breaking that one up. 3rd and 2, still a couple timeouts, and they will give this one to Hifa, who has a first down.
Yeah, that's a big conversion there as the clock stops. Hifa pops up. Nice change of pace there from he and Lessa. Lessa, the big bruiser.
4-man rush. Pressure breaking in. Aston tries to step up, and he goes down. Nice takedown for the Titans by Gabe Johnson.
You mentioned it early on. Just a great job on the swim move by Gabe Johnson there. It's going to force Provo to take a timeout. And he and Maunga just swallowed up Aston on that one. Great job by that Olympus defensive front.
Yeah, I mentioned Mwanga. There was maybe a slim chance that Aston was going to have a chance to throw it away. Mwanga made sure that was not the case. The Titans edge rushers combining for a huge sack that's going to make it 2nd, and I believe that's going to be 2nd and 7, Brian, something like that.
Yeah, and Johnson, a undersized but very quick, explosive defensive end. You can see the skill as he got the swim move there. Past the lineman immediately, puts Provo into very deep 2nd and long territory here from the 31-yard line, and really jeopardizing their ability to put a score on the board here before halftime.
Yes, 2nd and long. We'll see how the offense of the Bulldogs decides to approach it. 3 receivers to the right, left hash. Rolling out to the right is Aston. Waiting, buying time, and maneuvering his way around, still trying to buy his receivers time, and he runs into the referee, and he is going to get dropped inbounds as the Bulldogs offense has really kind of stalled here with under a minute to go. And, Brian, I'm thinking that might be the last play of the first half.
Yeah, if this one's going to expire, it may be for the best as Aston tries to run around, make something happen, gets past the line of scrimmage, runs into the official, doesn't realize where he's at on the field, and that's part of being a young player, right? Doesn't realize he's already passed the line of scrimmage. Should have just tucked it and scrambled and got it filled as much as he possibly could. Try to get out of bounds. That'll be one that they took a look at in film. But for now, that's it for the Provo Bulldogs. That's it for the Olympus Titans for the first half.
Your thoughts on our first half, Brian? 20-7, current the Titans lead.
Really competitive first half. Sorry, JT, for talking over you. I'm excited, though. We got a great game here. Olympus up 20-7. We saw some very promising things from the Provo Bulldogs offense. I believe they'll get the ball to start the second half. So that'll help a lot. Again, whatever nerves, whatever miscommunications you had, you just forget about from that last drive. Come back and start fresh with what you know works. And we should have a very competitive, very exciting second half for you here on KSL Sports Rewind.
The Provo Bulldogs made an hour-long trip out here to take on the Olympus Titans, and we got a good first half in the books. Come back for the second in 15 minutes. 20-7, Titans and Bulldogs going at it on KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back into Olympus High School, where the Titans lead it 20-7 over the Provo Bulldogs. JT Wistersill and Brian Brown with you. And what was a fun first half, Brian?
It really was, JT, a battle of two different teams in terms of style and how they came about getting on the scoreboard. Olympus, 2 early methodical drives to get field goals, recovering the touchdown in the end zone. And Provo able to find success in the run game, getting chunk yardage. Finally gets a score there in the second quarter.
If you're just joining us, recapping our first half, Provo offense really struggled early on. They had an interception and then a pitch that failed in their own end zone that led to a 13-0 Titans advantage. But Olympus's offense once had success moving the ball, just stalled in the red zone, had to settle for 2 field goals. That allowed the Provo offense, once it finally did get clicking, to mount a fantastic drive on the ground, a little through the air as well, culminating in a Drew Dusher touchdown overall too. And Gabe Johnson did a great job jumping on that fumble we saw earlier in the end zone as well. And then after that, Olympus being scored on, it was a 6-point game. How would they respond? Chase Mosley led his team down the field along with Nick Brown and then ran it in himself before the clock ran out on Provo's offense. But they have an opportunity to get to work right here. Low hanging kick. Larson fields it at the 6. Larson down the left side and taken down instantly. Big time tackle at the 20-yard line by number 22 for the Titans, Nate Sheets.
Yeah, great job by Sheets. I believe that's the second time we've called his name on special teams. Nate Sheets, that's a standout play for me because you understand that special teams is special for a reason. I wish I had a cookie from Mama Wistersill to give out to him right now, although if it did to him what it's doing to me, he might just take a nap.
Yeah. 20-7, the Provo offense mounted 1 touchdown that occurred in the second quarter. They go on the ground. Lesa got them going, and he has a nice pickup on first here.
Again, he is so good at finding those holes and just hitting the hole full speed. It's not exactly a Ferrari speed, you know. He's got the Lamborghinis going, more like the Chevrolets, okay, if we're being honest. But Lesa able to get yardage going forward every single time. 7-8 yards on first down, that's great. I'll take that every time. By the way, the cookie worth it.
Yeah. Aston gives it back to Lesa, and Lesa back-to-back carries for nice yardage and a first down.
And just as I'm kidding on, knocking on him a little bit for having the Chevrolets, he shows me the fancy footwork there with the nimbleness, getting up on one leg, bouncing around, able to avoid some tackles again. He is a fun back to watch if you love old-school power football. He's running up, laying the wood. Also able to show some nimbleness.
Lesa last week, 17 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. They fake it to him here. Aston wants it all. Looking deep. Larson! Oh, just through his hands.
Yeah, and that was a tough one for him to catch as he had 2 defenders there step for step. Great throw from Aston, right? Off the play action. Great call from Coach Chambers. Shout them out for that one. Get 2 back-to-back big run plays, go with the play action there, just not able to connect. And sometimes I think we forget how hard it is on those deep throws to be so accurate, so in time and so precision. And you can see it just didn't work out for Provo there.
Larson. Gain of about 5, but oh my gosh, it takes like 5 Titans to drag him down. What an effort by Larson, but there was a flag that came in pretty early there before Larson was brought down, before Lesa was brought down. Yeah. We'll see what the flag is now.
I believe this one's going to be holding, and it looked like it was, again, Lesa, we talk about him being powerful, strong runner, number 7. He's hard to miss out there on the field. That play just had a little extra hugging from his offensive line, it looks like. Oh, we're going to get a face mask here on Olympus. I was wrong. So that's going to play in Provo's favor. They'll push them past the 50-yard line here.
Lesa picking up where he left off in the first half. And, going back to that incomplete throw that we saw from Aston, I go back to the very first drive of the game where he had sailed it high, had an interception. Seems like he's really settled in now, Brian.
He has, and I think establishing the ground game has helped a lot, right? It's provided him with a little bit more breathing space, right? When you're able to get, holy cow.
Lesa doing the man's work right now, clocking in 9-5 and getting it done.
And talk about rumbling and stumbling. Lesa there looking more like Jerome Bettis. Not sure we can call him the bus quite yet. He's a diesel out there just steamrolling through players.
Gets a much-deserved break as Hefo will come into the backfield. Man, as we said, Lesa had 76 yards last week. I honestly think he's over that, not even 2 minutes into the third quarter after the performance he's had here early. Dusher, bottom of your screen, matched up against Schlendorf, already with an interception today. They'll fake it to Hefo and get it over to Larson. Larson blockers in front of him and dragged down just short of the 30.
We talk about Dusher so much, but Larson has been a great change of pace to Dusher's deep threat and ability to stretch that defense. And it's great when you have that counter, right? Because defenses are going to zoom in on number 6 and number 7. And so when you have Hefo that comes in, the junior, and you have Larson out there as well, the senior, able to allow that flexibility, those alternate weapons on the offensive side of the ball, it's quite the luxury.
Nice drive for the Bulldogs here. They've gotten into the Titans 30. Fake it to Hefo on the play action. Sia waits and throws it. And was that caught? Waiting for a signal, and it was! What a miraculous grab! Diving to his knees and hauling it in a spectacular fashion was Brant Larson.
Boy, it was a great catch by Larson, and surprised that Aston was able to get it there. Looked like he may have crossed the line of scrimmage on that one, JT. Apparently, officials said it was all good, and Provo in position to score early here in the second half.
Provo's prominent offense taking over here. They bunch it up, and their big back, Lesa, in the backfield here. I actually thought he might have false started, but it doesn't matter because instead he's got the Bulldogs inside the 5.
Yeah, you talk about a heavy package out there for Provo. Well, we did ask for a lesser amount of flags early in the broadcast, JT, and we're certainly getting that. You see the power formation here for Provo.
Now feed Lesa once again. Lesa fighting for it, waiting for the signal. He's in. Touchdown, Provo. Breaking through the goal line like a jelly bean. 20-13. What a drive from Provo overall. Just exceptional stuff there, Brian. Just a phenomenal drive. Put it in Lesa's hands, and then a couple of those key throws by Aston as well.
I'll tell you what, JT, that Olympus defense looked like a toasted marshmallow after that power package. Just rolling into the end zone, allowing Lesa squirm across that goal line and get the touchdown.
20-14 after the PAC. Bulldogs back into it on KSL Sports Rewind. Bulldogs had a long time to plan out their offense into the second half, and it's worked out pretty well so far as they drive all the way down the field and score on their first possession.
Yeah, that was a juicy pair of a touchdown, JT. A real starburst in the end zone as Provo getting on the board early here in the second half. 8:42 left in the third quarter, and it is 20-14. Luke Bryant here on the return.
Yeah, the explosive Bryant gets it across the 20, leaps in the air, and gets about an extra 7 yards. You can see why he's so athletic there. Long jump of about 7.
Yeah, and you can see why Bryant is such an impressive athlete, why he's so highly sought after by the next level. He's a big guy.
He is.
He's 6'2", almost 6'3", really explosive. You don't see a lot of guys that tall able to return kicks like that, but man, he is something else.
Waiting to see what the Titans offense is going to come up with here. Last time we saw them, though, they were able to mount a touchdown drive of their own. What are you expecting to see out of Olympus, Brian?
I don't know if we see quite the tutti frutti explosion of run game that we saw last round, but they want to be a ball control offense, right? They want the ball in the hands of their great quarterback, Chase Mosley. Mosley's done a great job all game long, controlling the rhythm and the timing of the offense.
Bryant gets it in the Wildcat. Stiff arms a defender, but a great tackle made that time for the Bulldogs. It was number 37 dragging him down. Great effort by Filet.
And if you're watching at home wondering if that's a horse collar tackle, I believe it was the defender maybe had arm, which kind of negates the grabbing of the collar of the shoulder pads. But nifty little
Wildcat, just
little switcheroo.
Mentioned Brown, 123 passing yards last year. Yeah, definitely some shenanigans there. Brown, tough carry on the ground. Only gains about 2 or 3. Got to imagine that Bulldogs defensive line is ready to get back out here after the Titans had a lot of success running on them in the final drive of the first half.
Yeah, and then they get some time to get off their feet and catch their breath a little bit after being out on the field a lot in the first half. So you have to believe that this Provo defense got some energy back, and they want to come out and reestablish the line of scrimmage, right? That's been the key. They want to pressure this Olympus offense. They want to put them into difficult situations. Unfortunately, Olympus here, 3rd and short.
Mosley rolling out to the right. Greengrass in front of him, thinking about it, waiting, buying time, and throwing it to an open man downfield, and making the grab is Caden Lloyd. He caught an early pass from the game. He's been pretty quiet since after having 2 touchdowns last week, Brian.
Yeah, Lloyd had 3 receptions last week for 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
So at this point in time, we're expecting the next 3 to be touchdowns. No, I'm just kidding. But a great job to come back, find his quarterback during the scramble drills. We've got Official timeout. Sideline warning.
We got multiple. Sideline warning on Provo. Interesting. Saw a lot of Olympus coaches up there. I was curious of what it was going to be.
Yeah, and again, for those watching at home that are curious about the sideline warning, what it is sometimes those coaches get out in that wide area of the field. You have to allow the officials to operate within that area. If you bump into an official, it's an automatic warning, not a penalty. First time.
Bulldogs send the blitz. Mosley just had to get rid of it, nearly intercepted.
And tried to find Caden Lloyd. It looked like on the fly again there. Threw it a little bit off the back foot, but great job by the Provo defense to apply the pressure and defend the pass. Olympus trying to take a shot there on first down.
Titans still up by 6, 20-14 with 7:15 to go. It'll be 2nd and 10. Mosley's made some really nice plays, but really waiting for that big explosive play that Spanish Fork had a lot of trouble defending last week. 4-man rush. He's given time. Drifting to his left. Mosley calls Bryant back, and Bryant makes the grab past the chains.
And you talked about the explosive plays that Olympus was able to capitalize on last week. They do not have Nash Taylor, another one of their playmakers out there. Non-contact knee injury last week. Likely will miss the entirety of his senior season. And Taylor, just a phenomenal two-way player for this Olympus team. Your heart breaks for him. Is this offense still able to go down the field methodically, even though one of their leaders is on the sideline?
Mosley fakes it to Brown. Quick pass is caught. And still nearly breaking free that time was Ty Siegel. What an effort and a quick throw by Mosley.
Yeah, that's a great job by Siegel to catch that ball. It looks like Mosley and Siegel have been doing that since they were 8 years old. That's because they have. Two friends have been doing that for a long time. You see the rhythm, the timing, and Siegel with a nifty little move to get the first down.
Filet and Lisa lead the Bulldogs defense. Lisa playing both ways. That quick slant unsuccessful for Olympus.
Yeah, you can see Mosley clapping his hands and pointing at him. He knew that one just a little bit behind his receiver. The rare mistake so far. Mosley has been mostly excellent tonight in running this offense. Called his number for the lone touchdown. They've done a good job of distributing the ball. They've done a great job in the run game as well. Wonder if they go back to Nick Brown here.
Instead, they'll throw it quickly to Bryant, who is buried in an instant. Big hit in the behind the line of scrimmage that time from Crew Dimitrin.
Yeah, DiMartini there out there at the corner position. Just a sophomore, 5'10", 140. Oh, man, he brought all of it on that play.
Yes, he did. Huge hit that time.
DiMartini flying up like the crack of a bat over there. That's a joke for the baseball players out there.
Always a couple of them out there for the Titans, too, overall. Under 6 to go now. 3rd and 11. Mosley drifting to the left, waiting. Pressure in his face, and he's dragged down. Huge sack. Filet gets home and makes the big play for Provo.
Yeah, there were a ton of white Bulldog jerseys all over the place on that play. Mosley not able to escape the teeth of that rush. Provo does a great job there on holding on 3rd down. It's a big loss. And the punt team's going to have to come out for Olympus here.
Filet, the
2014 lead.
Yeah, Filet, the versatile junior linebacker, was waiting for him. He's made some nice plays, but waiting for the big one, and he's able to do it right there. It makes it 4th and 28, or 4th and forever, basically, as Mosley on to punt it away. Or just stays on, I guess, in his case, right?
Yeah, a lot of Tutti Frutti Jelly Bellies on that one because it was a party in the backfield for the Provo defense.
Larson's got it. I don't think Larson called for a fair catch. That ball was live. Good thing Dusher was right there to scoop it up.
Savvy play by Dusher to get on top of that one. Almost a near disaster. Olympus does a good job on the coverage team being aware. I didn't see a fair catch signal. Did you see one on that, JT?
I didn't either, which is surprising because Larson's made a lot of good decisions today. That was the first poor one on his part overall. But either way, it works out for Provo's favor, and that really could have been disastrous coming off the huge stop that the Bulldogs defense just had.
Well, and something we haven't talked about a lot this game is Provo, when they've had good field position, has executed much better in the overall. Mm-hmm. This time backed up behind their 10-yard line. They've got a long field to go. We'll see how they do.
1st and 10 from the 8. They'll throw it. Dusher met by multiple Titans. Being dragged down. Got to imagine the defensive-minded head coach Burt loves that, seeing those 11 hats in the football.
Yeah, and you can see that his defense, he's very proud of it. It's a swarming defense. They play great team defense. Jusher coming on the orbital motion on that play. We saw that a lot in the first half. Want to try and get the ball in his hands, maybe catch that defense sleeping, but Olympus was well prepared for that one. And it's 2nd and long for the Bulldogs.
2nd and 7, 4:30 to go in our third quarter. Aston, flanked by Lesa in the backfield. The quick throw is brought in, setting up 3rd and short.
Great job there by the receiver to just sit down on the route. Bennett Paulson able to secure it. He called his name a couple times tonight. With Jusher and Larson out there, you kind of wonder if there's enough balls to go around, and Paulson's done a great job on capitalizing on the few to go his way.
Lace's had multiple strong Garys in tough situations. They go to him here, and did he get there? I don't think so. 4th and short coming up.
You can see the claps and the high fives from the Olympus defense. As they stand tall, the Titans able to withstand the charge from the Bulldogs. Provo up and ready to go. Looks like they're going to rethink that and send the punt team, wisely sends the punt team out on the field. I think, this close. It's a one-score game. It's just a little too early to go for it on 4th down this deep in your own territory.
Coach Burt, the acting head coach of the Titans, has had his defense locked in this season. Through 2 weeks so far, for including this game, we've only given up 21 points on the season overall. Really impressive stuff as we have to have a late man run on. And who else but the do-it-all man himself in Lisa. Kick is away. We'll get past the 50 and way over Bryant's head. And that is going to be a fantastic punt off the booming kick that time for Provo. Nice job that time by Jackson Sharp.
Yeah, it looked like Bryant might have lost that one a little bit in the lights. And again, you only have 4 light posts here. It's not exactly Rice Eccles Stadium in terms of the lighting situation. Smart play by Bryant. Let the ball bounce. The offense has been efficient enough from Olympus. You would expect them, starting at the 29-yard line, to be able to at the very least flip the field. More importantly, to get some yards and to get some points on this drive.
What would be nice as well? You speak to the lack of lights. Lights up in the press box on top would be a great addition that more high schools in the state of Utah would love if they employed, as I struggle to see my roster as it gets started with the lack of lights up top. But one thing that hasn't struggled is the Titans offense. And they've done a really good job overall this game. 20 points on the day overall, and a nice opportunity here to build on what has been a successful second outing for Mosley. Mosley gives it to Brown. Brown still on his feet, and gain of about 6.
Boy, and that was a hard-fought 6 in the sense that Nick Brown was very patient, guiding him, letting his blockers guide, waiting for the holes to open. Able to get that good chunk yardage on 1st down. What that's really allowed Olympus to do is throw the ball on 2nd and 3rd down and get some of those bigger plays.
Both these teams return over 14 starters. It's led to a hard-fought battle. Mosley, pressure in his face, and he just lofts it away.
Smartly throws that one out of bounds. Just looked like a little bit of a breakdown there. I'm not sure if it was a miscommunication on the route or what was going on. Seeing some communication there with Luke Bryant, number 24 for Olympus.
Third and 3, 20-14. Olympus looking to stay on the field. It's a packed box by Provo, but they'll give it to Brown anyways. Brown going to be just short of the yards he needed.
Well, it was a great job by that Provo defense to get him by a shoestring, as Nick Brown somehow found a hole in what looked like a mess of Bulldog defenders.
Looks like the punting unit going to come out here as we see the Titans off to kick it away. Or actually, could potentially be a heavy package because Mosley's not on the field right now, Brian. But you see Bryant is, and we already know he's taken 1 snap in the Wildcat. The offense looks like it's going to stay on. Weston Olson also in the game, the sensational linebacker. Bryant keeps, and it's close. Oh, the spot's going to be interesting, Brian.
This one looks really, really close, JT. Based on where the side judge is standing, I think it might be a 1st down, but wow. What a play on 4th down. And that's a conversion for this Olympus Titan offense. A gutty call from Coach Burt and his offensive staff pays off.
Both teams brought in a couple of bigger extra bodies, and it pays off for Olympus, nearly did for Provo. I'm sure if this was the NFL or even college, that'd be challenged right there, because that was it was, like I said, one of those ones that could go either way overall, but definitely Provo probably feeling like he got the stop there.
Yeah, and it's hard for us to gauge sometimes where we're not dead set on, how close it actually was to see Mosley pull the ball here.
Mosley on the keeper, nasty stiff arm, the quarterback throwing dudes in the dirt, and he's fired up about it, letting them know. Gain of about 4.
And he's telling that Bulldog defender, thank you very much, come try and tackle me again. Chase Mosley, like I said, one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the state, and what he doesn't have in the arm talent or the physical stature, he more than makes up for in moxie, his intelligence, the way he operates the offense. Again, you can see the value of being a 2-year starter in the way that he plays so confidently.
Low snap. Mosley looks right, goes back left, and dancing down the sideline and making a nice grab for the Titans that time was Tommy Nelson.
Yeah, Nelson, a junior, a big target out there at almost 6'4". You can see that they're excited to see what he can develop into. No better way to get him developed than throwing the ball there. And that's a big conversion for Olympus here, as they've had back-to-back positive plays.
Titans were
back-to-back first downs.
Yeah, no, they have. Yeah, the Titans were originally just going to let the clock wind down, but then they realized, oh wait, he was pushed out of bounds, so they got to run one more. Play clock under 10. Mosley getting everyone lined up. 22 seconds to go in the third quarter. Mosley, flush to the right, just lofts it up in the air, and a dime, but it was knocked away at the last second. Fantastic coverage by the Provo secondary.
Boy, great touch throw by Mosley there as he had Siegel out in the flat. Again, 3 defenders in the area, but just bounces off the fingertips. And you mentioned it, JT, defenders all around. Great throw into a tight window, just not able to secure the catch. And, boy, I tell you what, I'm really impressed by both Chase Mosley and Aston on the flip side of it. We've seen some really accurate D-balls from them both.
Brown saves what would have been for sure a turnover. It's going to be a huge loss. Bulldogs all over it, and that'll do it for the third quarter. Titans setting up third, and I think it's going to be about 3rd and 16 overall as the clock winds down. Will Olympus be able to get out of it, or will Provo be able to create a 4th down and get the ball back to try to come back in this one? Stay with us on KSL Sports Rewind to find out. The Titans looking to improve to 2-0. The Provo Bulldogs trying to do the same. Provo currently trailing 20-14, but they have the Titans backed up. It's 3rd and 16, and it's fourth quarter time on KSL Sports Rewind. Mosley in one of the toughest spots he's been today. 2 receivers on each side, Brown with him in the backfield. Bulldogs show blitz, but bail out of it. Just a 3-man rush. Mosley with time to operate. Looking downfield, lost it up, has a man open, and he'll be just short of the first down as Nelson makes another grab.
Boy, what a great job by Nelson to find the open area. Mosley delivers the ball, gives them an opportunity here now on 4th and short to at least have a decision to make, and it looks like they're going to send the punt team out there. No.
It's the same thing they did last time.
Yeah, we're going heavy. Mano y mano.
Provo looking to make a stop in the middle of the field. Colin Munga and the Provo defensive line looking to stand up Bryant. Bryant straight ahead, and he's got it.
No doubt on that one. Is a great job by that Ole offensive front and the heavy package to create that crease. And I tell you what, you get Luke Bryant going downhill. That's a tough train to stop.
You bring in an extra offensive lineman, Gabe Johnson, who's just created havoc at defensive end, and Weston Olson, possibly this team's best defensive player overall. So just a great group you can have for a heavy package, and the athletic Bryant able to move the chains.
Yeah, as much fun as it is to watch this Olympus offense spread out, I have to wonder if maybe there isn't something in there for Weston Olson, maybe a fullback play. I don't know. I'll have to send my notes to Coach Burt and company. I'm sure they'll be very excited.
Brown, gain of 2. We mentioned Coach Burt, acting head coach for the Titans overall. And, look, he hasn't even been the head coach for over 2 months now, Brian. But what do you think of the job he's done with this team getting him ready?
Well, it's a terrific job. At one point in the summer, they were in the middle of fall camp. They didn't have a field. He was the interim head coach. And Coach Whitehead left in June to go take a job with the school district.
Mosley nearly threw an interception.
We talked about it. He hasn't made very many mistakes today. That one dodges a real potential disaster. Is Provo not able to reel it in? But Coach Burt's done a great job of just steadying the ship, and I think their message has been, why not us?
Why not us?
Why not us? And it's, I think this is a group, this is a younger team, strong senior leadership, but you've got a lot of guys on this group that I think are hungry to prove that Olympus deserves recognition here in 5A, and he's done a great job of allowing this offense to flourish.
Mosley, Lofton one up, total miscommunication. Thankfully, no Bulldogs in the area.
Yeah, he was looking for Lloyd on that one. I'm not sure what the miscommunication was, if it was just a misread or if that was Mosley just trying to get it up because he saw the rush coming. Regardless, leads to 4th and long here for the Titans, and they're going to go for this one.
It could be a great opportunity for the Bulldogs to create a turnover on downs and start with a short field. We did see the fish punt early on, though. Might see that again. It's a luxury of having your quarterback also as your punter, and it's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're setting up to look like they're going to shift into that quick kick, and it's, like you said, JT, just the advantage of having a guy who can kick it like Mosley can. And smart move. Look, you've got the lead. There's 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Your defense has done a really exceptional job every time that you've flipped Provo into the deeper end of their own territory. Good call by Coach Burt. Nice little wrinkle to have, when you've got a quarterback who can do that quick kick.
This Provo offense had a dreadful start. An interception on their first 3rd down. Then the following drive, they turned it over in the end zone for a touchdown by the Titans. And now an opportunity here late to take a fourth quarter lead with a touchdown and extra points. 3 backs flanking in the backfield. Aston going to keep it, but the low throw incomplete. Thankfully, it would have actually been a loss of a yard overall as they try to get tricky with Dusher lining up in the backfield.
Yeah, they tried to go with the RPO action there, it looked like. Almost RPO play action-ish. Kind of hard to read that one.
Yeah.
And the result was according with that.
Yeah.
It was like, 2nd and long.
Provo struggled in some 2nd and long situations so far today. Lesa in the backfield. Next to Sokai Aston once again. They'll give it to Lesa. Lesa follow his blockers up ahead. Gain of 4.
And your guy there on the tackle, Weston Olson, a good job of filling the gap as Olympus is trying to run blitz a little bit more to stop that counter action, that power pull that Provo's had a lot of success with so far.
Gabe Johnson for the Titans has been much more quiet in the second half. They could really use him to get home here. As for Provo, Dusher looking to make a big play just with 1 reception so far. He lines up in the slot to the left side, but they put him in motion. They'll give it to Lesa. Lesa on the surprise 3rd long run. And Lesa breaking free across the 50. Titans chasing from behind. And Lesa on 3rd and 6 with the big gain into Titan territory.
And he stands up and says, "How do you like me now, Bulldogs?" Lesa with the amazing run. Breaks through the 2nd level. Able to break a tackle. And then you see the fleet of foot. The baby bus. Lesa with the 1st down. Bulldogs are threatening.
Might have to give Lesa the scepter after this performance we've seen today, Brian.
For the guy Lesa. Shout out to you, sir. Great run.
Yeah, this time they give it to Hefo, and he'll get almost nothing on the play. But how about the surprise run there? Gutsy on 3rd and 6, trailing by a touchdown, or by 6 points, and wow, what a result.
Well, we talk about a gutsy call, and it's just because we normally don't think to run the ball on 3rd and 6. But Provo's done a great job all game long of converting on the run game and getting over 6 yards of carry. Unless able to break some tackles. That's the benefit of having such a big, strong running back like him. These defenses start to wear down in the fourth quarter, and he's an absolute beast out there.
Offensive coordinator for the Bulldogs, Garrett Dusher, has done a great job putting his team in position to succeed after a slow start. Aston with time, waiting, and dragged down, nearly lost the ball as well. Thought it might have been a sack before he was whistled, but either way, Titans get home in a key situation. That time breaking in the backfield is Thomas Monga.
Well, it's spooky season already for Monga as he scares Aston to the turf on that one, and his running mate on the opposite side, Gabe Johnson, secures him, makes sure he doesn't get back up, trying to run out of that. It is definitely a haunted house with that Olympus defensive line.
So much excitement for Provo after the huge pickup on third down. Now it's 3rd and 11. Lesa in the backfield. Aston to the right with time, but steps up. Long throw intercepted. Titans pick it off. Huge play by the Olympus secondary.
What a play. When you need something big, you can call on Jack Evans to come through in the clutch. I tell you what, the junior, he's got a little something, a little je ne sais quoi. It's almost like his dad, Casey, was a stud up on the hill at the University of Utah or something. But you know what? Casey's kid doing a great job to make his own name out there. Jack Evans with the critical interception. It's about to be a East bench party up here for Olympus with under 8 minutes to go.
Aston got off to the slow start, had been so strong since those early 3 drives, but a costly turnover there. We'll see if Provo has a chance to get it back. They'll need a stop from their defense here. Mosley on the give to Brown, who gets 3.
And listen, that's going to be the goal for Olympus, is to try and take as much time off the clock. They've got some big guys there. Take time off the clock.
Unfortunately, the clock is not running, though. A costly mistake by Olympus's own scoreboard operators. The throw over to Bryant, the flat. Bryant leaping in the air, but not able to separate from the defenders. It'll be 3rd and 5. And Coach Burt and Weston Olsen also giving it to the scorekeepers.
Yeah, shouldn't laugh in that situation. You know, we're all out here trying to do our best. But the big thing is Luke Bryan is doing a good job of showing how much better his best is than everybody else.
Mosley on 3rd and 3, gives it to Brown. Brown breaking free, leaps over a defender. A big game by Brown over the 50.
Well, he's bad Nick Brown out there, and he may not be rumbling and stumbling, but he's leaping and leaning for the first downs over there. That's a nifty run from Nick Brown. Woo!
6:50 to go here. 1st and 10 from the 48 of the Bulldogs. Critical 3rd down there. We've seen both sides now on their previous 2 drives move the chains with their legs on 3rd down. Mosley will feed Brown once again. Physical tackle in the middle of the field that time by the Bulldogs defense.
Yeah, and you see the counter option, or the counter tray there from the offensive line. Nick Brown cuts it back against the grain, and he just runs into Bulldog defenders.
Looks like a cramp right now. Good job by Larson making the tackle there. And, got to give a lot of credit to a lot of these Provo players. They are going both ways, Brian. You get guys like Filet I see on both sides. Hefo's made some plays there, too. Larson just came up with the stop there. Ducher's been in a couple times defensively overall. Not an easy thing to do in high school football in general.
No, it's not an easy thing to do at any level of football, and you can see that's the difference between some of these 5A programs and the 6A schools where there are 70, 80 kids. Is there's just not as many bodies to go around, so you see a lot more kids going both ways. See a lot more cramping, and you have to imagine that some of these guys, with the weather being what it's been this week, where it's been hot and then cold, yes, no, always want to make sure the guys are getting their fluids, but you never know. So maybe there's a bottle of pickle juice over there.
Yeah.
Maybe some Birdie Bots, every flavor beans, whatever it takes to get him.
And the cramping Bulldog is able to get to his feet. Eventually, for Provo, down for a moment, was Tuile Buka, who's able to get off and walk off now on his own volition. Provo has Olympus in 2nd and 7. They've got overall, Olympus has been really sharp on 3rd down today. They had their early struggles in the red zone, Brian, but got to be impressed with the performance we've seen from this Titans offense when they've needed to have those yardage most.
Yeah, the biggest thing I think is they've been able to minimize their mistakes, right, and capitalize off the mistakes of the Provo offense. And you got to wonder if guys like Limhai Matiaki there at the middle, the big number 70, are starting to tire down for the Bulldogs.
Brown gets it, nearly dragged down from behind, but eventually taken down quickly. Good closing speed that time from Lesa.
Yeah, and you talk about guys going both ways. That's a man that's just hungry to hungry to play football right now and closing on both sides of the ball. It's rare that you see players get better as the game goes on, and he has definitely done that. Just a fun athlete to watch. And if you're sitting at home and you're just like, man, high school football isn't as good as this, that, or the other, you're missing the point. These guys are so much fun to watch.
Bryant gets the snap in the Wildcat. Luke Bryant barely has enough yardage, but he will have a first down.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about individual effort right now. You see Lessa on the defensive side of the ball, Bryant on the offensive side of the ball, which is tough, hard-nosed competitors. You can see these guys are giving it all they have. There's no NIL deals going on here, no contract negotiations. We have some more suggestions to the clock operator to keep it going.
Bryant and the Titans' powerful offense staying in the game. Max Hammer and Olympus up front have done a good job rushing the ball tonight. They'll look to do it again here with Bryant, and Coach Burt burns a timeout. They were so concerned with the clock not running, and instead they have to burn a timeout. We'll take one as well with 5:21 to go. 20-14, Titans looking to take game number 2 from Provo. Olympus 5:21 away from the victory. They're looking to their exceptional athlete, Luke Bryant, in the heavy package to get it done.
I think we might have to start calling this the Titan package, or the Titan front.
Titans are big.
Yeah.
Bryant straight ahead. Gain of about 5. We'll set up 2nd and 5 in a moment. Mosley stays on the sideline.
I think this is just a tactic to try and wear down that Bulldog defense as much as possible and keep that clock churning. Again, Bryant, one of the best athletes on the team. You can see it. He's able to hit that hole so quickly. The versatility to be able to play wide receiver but also run the ball like that. It's such a different format, right? You've got to get low. You've got to run behind your pads. And you can see he's so tall and so athletic. It's really impressive.
Bryant to the right side and dragged down right around the first down marker. Looks like they might give it to him. Man, Brian, the Titans just continuing to run it on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and you know, again, that's the goal, right? You want to try and control that clock, control the ball. The number one rule of football is you want to maintain possession. And with a 6-point lead, just keep it in the hands of your playmaker. Make the Bulldogs adjust to what you're doing.
And Bryant still in the game. Provo looking for a stop here shortly if they want to have a chance at a comeback. All it takes is one stop for them, and then they get back on it and then have an opportunity to score a touchdown and win the game. Flag comes on. I believe it was a false start for the Titans.
Part of the snap, there's a penalty marker on the field.
And
False start on Olympus.
yeah, guys getting a little anxious out there, and part of that heavy package is really getting to the defender, and you're seeing Provo starting to align a little differently. You're seeing Diaz bounce around, trying to avoid defenders, and get a little jumpy out there. Nevertheless, Olympus still in good position here. It's 1st and 15 with 4 minutes left.
And despite them being backed up, they're still going to roll with the heavy package. Bryant remains in the backfield, and Olympus lines up again. This time they shift it to the left side. Bryant goes through the left side, tries to bounce it to the outside, but he's dragged down.
Well, and it's not just that the same play consecutively over the heavy package, right? They're running through different gaps. It's almost like an old school single wing look where you're running a little unbalanced and you've got some blocking backs back there, and so you're looking for different players to isolate and different ways to open up a crease. And you can see Bryant, with his athleticism, is able to really maximize that. And what you're hoping is that he can slip one of these tackles and break it big to the outside.
2nd and 13, Bryant to the right side, and the Bulldogs able to drag him down by his feet. Huge tackle made by Hefo.
Yeah, and that's a great job there by the Provo defense to spread it out, force Bryant to bounce to the outside. He may have had a cutback lane, but again, a tall player like that, it's extremely difficult for him to run the way that Nick Brown did, right? And Nick Brown has been so good, so effective all game at being able to read his blockers and cut back. So you can see the heavy package has done its job, though. There's under 3 minutes here. 3rd and 15, we'll see Chase Mosley come back in, work his magic.
Brown still the lone back, though. They'll fake the pitch to Mosley, and an exceptional play made in space by Provo. Big-time stop by Kai Jardine.
Great job, Kai Jardine, staying home on that one, not fooled by the trickeration. Makes a huge tackle for a big loss.
Good decision as well by head coach Kirk Chambers of the Bulldogs to call that timeout and conserve the extra clock, Brian.
It is, and you'll see Olympus will come over and try to decide what to do here from the 40-yard line. Do you kick the ball? Do you try and go for a marginal gain, maybe 15, 20 yards and a draw or something safe like that? It's a tough situation here. You've got a great kicker, a great punter in Chase Mosley, who's done an excellent job of putting him back. I think with under 3 minutes to play, you want to make this Provo offense go the length of the field. And we've seen Aston play effectively at times. He has the two negative marks against him with the interceptions. So if you're Olympus, give yourself as much time, as much opportunity to try and force a turnover. And it looks like that's what they're going to do here.
This Olympus defense has only allowed 19 points per game last season. They're just barely over that 2 games into the season overall. It's been an incredible effort for them as Mosley looks set for the punt. And a flag comes in here. It'll be a false start on the Titans as they continue to move in the wrong direction, Brian.
Yeah, and that's not the worst thing, is you could probably get more of a punt set up now and just get a direct kick from the 45-yard line. Just
a huge lineup shift here for the Titans, and fortunately for Provo right now, Titans are moving in that wrong direction, as I mentioned. Mosley back in a more traditional punt formation here as Olympus has brought out their playmakers to try to stop. And it looks like because it's kind of the first time they've done traditional punt, it's only week 2, someone not out there. Larson and Duche back to return. Mosley waited a little bit. Low punt, rolling in the dirt, and it's out of bounds inside the 20. 2:28 and 2 timeouts remaining for Provo.
You said it, JT. They're inside their own 20-yard line, so they're going to have 86 yards to go if they're going to go ahead and take the lead for the first time all game. 2:28 to play. Boy, you talk about pucker up time. We're in the middle of it.
Provo looking for their first touchdown in the 4th quarter of the season, and if they're able to capture it, they might just get the win. Aston waiting, stepping up, looking downfield, and throws it across his body to Dusher, and Dusher gets out of bounds while also getting a first down.
Great job by Aston to find the open man. Dusher trailing along with his scrambling quarterback, gets the first down, clock stops. Great job by that Provo offense. Pushed out of bounds there by Tate Ames in safety position, but that's a big gain early in this drive.
So Guy Aston trying to be the hero for the Bulldogs. He's waiting in the pocket, stepping up, rolls out to the right, waiting, and dumps it into the dirt before he's dumped himself.
Yeah, you can see a slew of Titan defenders there. Most of the pressure applied there by Drew Leota from the inside nose position. Haven't heard his name called a lot tonight. It's been mostly Maunga and Gabe Johnson on the outside, but great job by them to contain him, force the incompletion. And right now it's a war of downs if you're the Olympus Titans.
Long way to go if you're the Provo offense, but this 2:13 with 2 timeouts feels like an eternity in a way as well, Brian.
Well, there's not an eternity left on the play clock as we're under 10 seconds, and Provo's still not lined up.
Aston motions Dusher across. Pitches it to Dusher. Oh, the double pass has a man wide open downfield, and it's caught across the 20, across the 10, and in for the game-tying score is Bryant Larson. Wow!
What a play call from Kirk Chambers as he gets the pitch pass, finds Larson wide open, streaks into the end zone, and we have a tie game with 2 minutes left. What a play from the Provo Bulldogs.
We've seen them put Dusher in motion so many times, and that time Provo offensive coordinator Garrett Dusher gives it to his playmaker and the best receiver to make a huge throw to Kyle Larson for the long touchdown. The PAT for the lead. It's good. Provo on top with 2:03 to go. They practiced it all off-season, Brian, all leading up to this. The Titans in a 2-minute situation, and Provo, oh my goodness, what a play.
Well, it's the first time all game they've been able to get a lead on the scoreboard, JT, and just a gutsy play call there. You can see the sideline erupting still off the huge play. Larson streaking to the end zone off the pitch pass. Great throw by Dusher. Great execution. Olympus thought they had him in the backfield. Now all of a sudden they've got an opportunity to try and get back in this. Got to get some points on the board here. They've got 2:03. All they need is a field goal. And you've got Luke Bryant back. I have to imagine that he'll be looking to make a play.
Jonah Loosely had the huge PAT for Provo, and to your point, Asher Grubler, already with multiple clutch field goals early on in the game, and has been money in his extra point attempts today too.
Yeah, and whatever wind we had earlier has completely died down. It is beautiful conditions for a kick here if necessary. We'll see what Provo does here.
And they kick it, and it dies at the 10. I thought Brian might have a chance at it, but it does go out of bounds, so give him a few extra yardage there.
Yeah, so that'll give Olympus the ball at the 35-yard line with the kick out of bounds. So excellent starting field position, but again, a dangerous player like Luke Bryant, that might be the better option. Just give yourself an opportunity to defend the Olympus offense. You know, and this Provo Bulldog defense has been out there a lot, and we're seeing some hands on hips early on.
Yeah.
Do they have enough in the tank right now to stop Olympus? Again, 2:03 on the clock. That's plenty of time to get yourself in field goal range from the 35-yard line.
Shout out to all the Provo parents and students that made the long trip out to the game, and they are big-time celebrating after the big score, but their defense still needs to make a stop. 2:03 to go if the Bulldogs want to enjoy a fun bus ride home with the win. Mosley, first time his back has really been against the wall this season. How will he respond? Throws over the middle of the field, and it's deflected, but it was a hold on Bryant.
Well, it was a nice job by Lessa trying to defend Bryant, but unfortunately got too much a player, not enough ball on that one. And really, we haven't seen Luke Bryant drop a pass all game long. So that alone might have been enough of an indication. That penalty is going to put Olympus in even better field position now. And, the Provo Bulldog faithful not happy with the call, understandably. But I think that was the right call.
Lace have been so great all game long, makes a costly mistake there. Mosley hung tough in the pocket and had a great delivery that would have been a catch if not for the holding. Four-man rush for the Bulldogs. Mosley gets it out quick. Tackle made inbounds that time as he gets it over to Siegel.
Yeah, and then look, Olympus is already operating in good territory with 1:46 here on the clock as they're at the 44-yard line in the huddle in the quick Nori.
Mosley looks left, throws it quickly, and a catch made once again by Siegel.
Again, Siegel sure-handed on those, and it's not quite a conversion on the first down, so they'll be 3rd and short here. Have to get the conversion.
Still 3 timeouts for Olympus, but looks like a little bit of a miscommunication. Mosley and offensive coordinator for Olympus, Mark Smith, getting on the same page. Still a lot of time on the play clock. Game clock down to 1:20. Low snap! Mosley picks it up. Defender in his face. Throws it away high. Bryant! What a grab for the first down!
Wow! What a fourth quarter of plays, JT. Oh, my goodness.
Bryant mosses the Bulldog for the huge conversion as Mosley made something out of nothing. Mosley taking command of the offense. Just under a minute to play. Ball on the 38. And a low snap again, but first whistle comes in. We had a false start on the Titans.
Yeah, and that's almost a lucky break for Olympus there with a false start as it was another bad snap. Chance to get composed here. You're going to get a 5-yard penalty. It's going to push you back a little bit. But, again, what a play by Mosley. There's no better safety valve than Luke Bryant, right? And Bryant elevated to make that catch, able to make the conversion. Just an incredible series of events unfolding here in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
1st and 15 from the Bulldogs, 43. Mosley gives it to Brown on the surprise carry, but a great tackle is made by the Bulldogs.
And Olympus takes the timeout here, it looks like.
Great job by Filet in space, making a play.
Timeout called by the Titans.
Timeout Olympus. It'll be second and call it 11 coming up on deck. 46 seconds to go. As we mentioned early on, Gubler already 2 for 2 in field goals today. Made all of his extra points as well. Got to imagine they want to get it at least inside the 30 to 25, Brian, to give him a shot to win it.
Yeah, you've got essentially 2 downs here on second and third to try and get him into field goal range. You've got 46 seconds left. And so if you're wondering why the run play there, you've got timeouts still. And really what you want to do is just make sure that you're in position to try and give him an opportunity to win this one. If you're Provo right now, it's all about you're telling each other we just got 2 plays left, right? 2 plays to force him into fourth down. So give me 2 more plays, and then we'll take our chances.
The Bulldogs defensive coordinator is Joe Tuha. Olympus has been held scoreless in the second half so far. Provo looking to complete the second half shutout and punctuate a road victory. Mosley gives it to Brown. Brown, great gain on second down. Just past the 35.
And a nice job by Olympus calling 2 plays in the timeout so they could get up and get ready to go.
Mosley on top of it again. Looks left, pressure breaking in, throws it out in space is Siegel, and Siegel able to get out of bounds. But the clock will run because it was behind the line of scrimmage. I believe our officials signalated for them to run the clock, Brian, but I don't think they did.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, JT. I thought that one was going to be a wind the clock situation as well. It looks like Olympus is going to go for this one here on fourth down, 7 yards. You have to wonder if Mosley is going to look for his playmaker, Luke Bryan, on this one.
Larson's been really quiet tonight. This could be Lloyd's been really quiet tonight. Could be an opportunity for him to step up here as well. 21-20, 4th and 7. Provo shows blitz. Play clock down to 3, down to 2, and Olympus will take a timeout.
Yeah, and I like that call from Coach Burt. Get your guys settled down, figure out exactly what it is that you want to do. 28 seconds left on the clock, JT. 4th and 7.
Out of timeouts now.
You are, and then you're also out of downs, right? So,
yeah.
so does all or nothing here, and I think you're outside of Gubler's field goal range. So really the best thing to do right now, regroup, figure out exactly what it is that you're going to do. If you're going to go for the kick here, this looks like it's going to be a 52-yarder. I don't know.
Oh, wow, they are going to kick it, Brian. You're right. Wow. We mentioned Asher Gubler has been money so far today, and he's going to try to win it for Olympus from 50 yards out with 28 seconds to go. Provo does have some timeouts. We'll see if they decide to try to ice him. 52-yard field goal, and that's exactly what Coach Chambers is going to try to do.
Yeah, I think Olympus might have surprised the Provo Bulldogs by sending out the field goal team, forcing Provo to take a timeout there. A little bit of a chess match, if you will, in terms of having mind games. Mind games, that's the term I'm looking for. JT, I'm so excited after all this back-and-forth playmaking. We saw a great throw by Drew Duscher. Didn't expect that to happen. He's usually catching him, not throwing the touchdowns. Then you see Chase Mosley, the Hail Mary, in essence, to Luke Bryan there on fourth down, able to get the conversion. That's what's gotten us to this point in the game. And we talked about it at the very beginning of the broadcast. These are two programs that are really trying to establish themselves as potential contenders for a trip to Rice Eccles in November here in 5A. And it's all going to rest on the legs of Olympus kickers.
The Bulldogs front seven has done a great job getting pressure on Mosley to force this long field goal attempt. From 52 yards out, Gubler to be the hero. It's blocked! Provo blocks it! And it's returnable too! But it doesn't matter that it wasn't returned for much yardage because Provo with the huge play!
What a stand by the Provo Bulldogs. Gritty, gutty, defensive effort. We said it, JT, you just needed to get 2 plays out of your defense. The best part, special teams, they're special for a reason. And that was a special play by the Provo Bulldogs field goal block team as the officials are going to get everything organized here. Provo calls a timeout. Boy, for the Provo Bulldogs, what an amazing sequence here in the fourth quarter to take the lead. If you're the Olympus Titans, you can see the heartbreak in the body language of those players. Led the entire game, and then on one play, like I say, every play is an opportunity for a great day. Provo Bulldogs able to convert there.
What a block. We talked about it earlier, how close Provo was on some of those early field goals, how close they were to a block. I believe the block came from the interior, so we were unable to see who got it. And Provo with a huge play late that's going to give them a 21-20 win overall. They drove over an hour to get out here, and they're going to come away with the victory.
Man, this is a real program victory for Provo and Coach Kirk Chambers. I believe in his second or third season, if I'm not mistaken, as the Bulldogs head coach. Really trying to establish a culture. One of those programs that's been a little bit overlooked in Utah County. You've got so many good schools. Tim Few just right there. For these Bulldogs, this is a huge win as they'll move to 2-0 on the season.
2-0 on the season. Olympus goes to 1-1. What a performance by Provo on the road. Their offense struggled early. Their defense gave up lots of yardage, but with their backs against the wall, they stepped up big, and multiple huge plays on the day by Lesa Drusher as well. Really coming up clutch late. Bryant, your overall thoughts on the win?
Well, it was a really evolutionary game in the sense that both teams started out with some early mistakes, trying to feel each other out. I think Olympus came in very motivated, very confident, and Provo, few early missed execution, mistakes, cost them the initial turnovers. Olympus able to capitalize with the fumble recovery and the field goal. But just a huge credit to the Provo Bulldogs as they stayed tough, stayed gritty, stayed consistent, able to get out of here with a win against a tough Olympus Titan team. For Olympus, led the entire game. A lot of great things to hang their hats on. Just not able to pull out the victory at the very end.
Provo last year lost to Grantsville in week 1. This year beat them 41-0, and then they get a gutsy win on the road. And I'm sure Coach Kirk Chambers is saying to his team, I'm thinking we're back, as Provo wins it 21-20. That will do it for us up in the booth on KSL Sports Rewind. For our cameraman Mike Christensen and my partner Brian Brown, I'm JT Wistersill signing off. And once again, your final, the Provo Bulldogs win it late 21-20 over the Olympus Titans.